A journey through California's most haunted roads. Welcome, wanderers of the eerie and seekers of the supernatural, to a chilling exploration of California's most haunted roads. Beneath the golden sunsets and sprawling landscapes lies a darker side to the Golden State, one where ghostly apparitions, phantom vehicles, and unexplained phenomena haunt the asphalt like restless spirits bound to the earth. If you've ever felt an inexplicable chill while driving down a deserted stretch of highway or heard whispers carried by the wind as you pass through a desolate canyon, then you're not alone. These roads are more than mere pathways connecting towns and cities. They are portals to another realm, where history, tragedy, and the supernatural collide in haunting harmony. In this video, we'll delve deep into the stories of California's most infamous haunted roads, places where the past refuses to fade into obscurity. From spectral hitchhikers who vanish into thin air to phantom trucks barreling down narrow mountain passes, each road holds its own unique tale of horror and mystery. Whether it's the echoes of tragic accidents, the lingering cries of lost souls, or the vengeful energy of those wronged in life, these highways and byways pulse with an otherworldly energy that defies explanation. So, buckle up, dim the lights, and prepare to uncover the sinister secrets hidden beneath the pavement of California's most haunted roads. Together, we'll traverse the fine line between the living and the dead, where every mile marker may hold a story waiting to be unearthed, and where the hum of your engine might just drown out the whispers of those who still roam these haunted paths. The ghosts of Ortega Highway. Nestled in the rugged hills of Southern California, Ortega Highway, officially known as State Route 74, is a serpentine stretch of road that winds its way through the Santa Ana Mountains, offering breathtaking views of canyons, forests, and distant peaks. By day, it's a scenic route beloved by motorcyclists, hikers, and nature enthusiasts. But as twilight descends and the shadows grow long, Ortega Highway transforms into something far more sinister, a place where the echoes of tragedy linger, and the boundary between life and death feels razor thin. Known colloquially as one of California's most haunted roads, this infamous highway is steeped in tales of ghostly apparitions, phantom vehicles, and inexplicable encounters that have left drivers shaken and searching for answers. One of the most enduring legends tied to Ortega Highway revolves around the Lady in White, a spectral figure said to haunt the road near Trabuco Canyon. According to local lore, she was a young woman who met a tragic end in the early 1900s when her horse-drawn carriage overturned during a storm, plunging her into the ravine below. Her spirit is said to wander the highway at night, often appearing as a translucent figure clad in flowing white garments. Witnesses describe her standing silently along the roadside, her face obscured by a veil of sorrow, as if waiting for someone, or something, that will never come. Some claim to have seen her stepping directly into the path of oncoming vehicles, only to vanish without a trace moments before impact. Others report hearing faint sobbing carried by the wind, a mournful melody that seems to rise and fall with the rhythm of the tires against the pavement. Though countless attempts have been made to photograph her, the Lady in White always eludes capture, dissolving into the darkness as though she were never there. Adding to the highway's haunted reputation is the recurring phenomenon of phantom headlights. Drivers recount seeing pairs of glowing lights approaching rapidly from behind, their beams cutting through the foggy night like daggers. Yet, when they glance in their rearview mirrors, no vehicle is visible. In some cases, the lights seem to pass right through their cars, leaving behind an unsettling sensation of coldness and dread. Skeptics have attempted to explain these sightings as optical illusions or atmospheric anomalies, but eyewitness accounts paint a more sinister picture. Many believe the headlights belong to the spirits of motorists who perished in fatal accidents along the treacherous curves of Ortega Highway. With its sharp turns, steep drop-offs, and lack of guardrails in certain areas, the road has claimed countless lives over the decades, earning it a grim nickname among locals: the Widowmaker. It is said that the spirits of these victims remain bound to the highway, forever reliving the moments leading up to their untimely deaths. Perhaps the most spine-chilling aspect of Ortega Highway is the pervasive feeling of being followed. Visitors frequently report an overwhelming sense of unease, as though unseen eyes are tracking their every move. This sensation is often accompanied by the distinct impression of footsteps trailing behind them, though no one is there. One particularly harrowing account comes from a group of college students who decided to camp near the highway late one summer night. As they sat around a campfire swapping ghost stories, they began hearing what sounded like footsteps crunching through the dry brush surrounding their site. At first, they dismissed it as wildlife, but the sound grew louder and closer, eventually circling their campsite. Terrified, they packed up their gear and fled back to their car, only to discover the next morning that their tent had been surrounded by a series of strange footprints. Prints that did not match any known animal or human anatomy. Local historians speculate that these prints may belong to the spirits of Native American tribes who once inhabited the area, their presence a reminder of the land's ancient history and the tragedies that unfolded upon it. Equally unnerving are the reports of ghostly hitchhikers spotted along Ortega Highway. Drivers have recounted picking up what appeared to be stranded travelers walking alone in the dead of night. Described as disheveled and pale, these hitchhikers often request rides to nearby towns or landmarks. However, midway through the journey, they vanish without warning, leaving behind only a lingering chill in the air. Some claim to have seen these figures materialize suddenly in their rearview mirrors, their hollow eyes fixed on the driver as if pleading for help or vengeance. Paranormal investigators believe these apparitions may represent individuals who died under mysterious circumstances along the highway, their spirits unable, or unwilling, to move on. Phantom tunnels and forgotten souls. The haunting of Devil's Slide perched precariously along the jagged cliffs of California's Pacific Coast Highway. Devil's Slide is a notorious stretch of road that has earned its ominous name through decades of peril and tragedy. Located between Pacifica and Montara in San Mateo County, this treacherous two-lane highway snakes its way through a narrow corridor carved into the steep, unstable slopes of Montara Mountain. For nearly a century, Devil's Slide was infamous for its frequent landslides, rockfalls, and deadly accidents, earning it a reputation as one of the most dangerous and haunted roads in California. Though the original highway has since been replaced by a modern tunnel system, the ghosts of its troubled past refuse to fade, lingering in the shadows of the cliffs and echoing through the abandoned tunnels. One of the most chilling legends tied to Devil's Slide involves the phantom tunnel lights, a spectral phenomenon reported by both drivers and pedestrians who dared to traverse the old highway at night. Witnesses described seeing faint, flickering glows emanating from within the darkened tunnels, despite the absence of any functional lighting. Some claim the lights resemble the headlamps of long-forgotten vehicles, their beams casting eerie shadows on the damp walls. Others describe the glow as a soft, pulsating radiance that seems to beckon travelers deeper into the tunnel. Those who have ventured inside report hearing muffled voices and the faint hum of engines, as though trapped in a time loop replaying the chaos of past accidents. Paranormal researchers speculate that these lights are manifestations of the spirits of those who perished in the tunnels, their energy lingering in the confined space where their lives were cut tragically short. Adding to the haunted mystique of Devil's Slide is the recurring appearance of shadowy figures along the cliffside. Drivers recount seeing dark, humanoid shapes darting across the road or standing motionless near the edge of the precipice, their forms shifting unnaturally as if defying the laws of physics. Witnesses describe feeling an overwhelming sense of dread in their presence, as though the figures radiate a palpable aura of malevolence. In some cases, individuals have reported being physically touched or pushed by unseen hands, leaving bruises or scratches that appear inexplicably hours later. Local historians attribute these manifestations to the numerous fatalities that occurred along Devil's Slide over the years, including motorists who plunged to their deaths during landslides and workers who lost their lives constructing the perilous roadway. It is believed that the spirits of these victims remain bound to the land, their anger manifesting in violent and unpredictable ways. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of Devil's Slide is the persistent legend of the Wailing Woman, a spectral figure said to haunt the cliffs overlooking the ocean. According to folklore, she was the wife of a fisherman who disappeared during a violent storm while attempting to navigate the treacherous waters below. Overcome with grief, she would climb to the highest point of Devil's Slide each night, scanning the horizon for any sign of her husband's return. When he never came back, she leapt from the cliffs, joining him in death. To this day, visitors report hearing her mournful cries carried by the wind, her voice blending with the crash of the waves below. Some claim to have seen her ghostly figure pacing along the edge of the precipice, her translucent form illuminated only by the moonlight. Attempts to approach her result in her sudden disappearance, leaving behind only the sound of her wails fading into the distance. Equally chilling are the accounts of phantom vehicles speeding recklessly along Devil's Slide, their drivers seemingly oblivious to the danger posed by the crumbling cliffs and narrow lanes. Witnesses describe seeing vintage cars, often from the 1950s or earlier, barreling down the highway at impossible speeds, their headlights blazing and engines roaring. Despite attempts to flag them down or warn them of impending disaster, the vehicles vanish without warning, leaving behind only the smell of burning rubber and the unsettling sensation of being watched. Some believe these apparitions belong to victims of fatal crashes, their spirits compelled to relive the moments leading up to their demise. Others suggest they are remnants of a bygone era, echoes of the reckless joyrides and daredevil stunts that once defined Devil's Slide's tumultuous history. For those who dare to explore Devil's Slide after dark, the experience is both haunting and humbling. The ghostly lights, the mournful wailing woman, and the pervasive sense of being watched serve as reminders that history leaves an indelible mark, not only on the land but also on the spirits that inhabit it. Whether driven by grief, duty, or unresolved conflict, the entities that linger here ensure that Devil's Slide remains a place where the boundary between the living and the dead feels razor thin. As the stars twinkle above and the wind whispers through the cliffs, the spirits of Devil's Slide emerge from the shadows, ensuring that the legends of this perilous road live on, for better or worse. Echoes of the past, the ghosts of Mulholland Drive perched high above the glittering sprawl of Los Angeles. Mulholland Drive is a winding ribbon of asphalt that offers panoramic views of the city below and the rugged beauty of the Santa Monica Mountains. By day, it's a favorite route for sightseers, filmmakers scouting locations, and locals seeking a scenic escape from the urban bustle. But as night falls and the neon glow of the city fades into the distance, Mulholland transforms into something far more sinister, a haunted thoroughfare where the echoes of Hollywood's glamorous yet tragic past reverberate through the hills. Known as one of California's most haunted roads, Mulholland Drive is steeped in tales of ghostly apparitions, phantom vehicles, and unexplained phenomena that blur the line between reality and nightmare. One of the most enduring legends tied to Mulholland Drive centers around the Lady in Red, a spectral figure said to haunt the road near the iconic Hollywood sign. According to local lore, she was a starlet whose rise to fame ended in heartbreak and despair. In the 1940s, she reportedly drove her luxury convertible to a secluded overlook along Mulholland, overcome with grief after being blacklisted by studio executives. There, she took her own life, leaving behind only a crimson scarf fluttering in the breeze. Her spirit is said to wander the road at night, often appearing as a tall, elegant woman clad in a flowing red dress. Witnesses describe her as drifting silently along the shoulder, her face obscured by a delicate veil that seems to shimmer in the moonlight. Some claim to have seen her standing at the edge of the overlook, gazing out over the city as if searching for something, or someone, she'll never find. Attempts to photograph her have yielded nothing but blurred images and faint silhouettes, as though her presence exists just beyond the reach of mortal comprehension. Adding to the road's haunted reputation is the recurring phenomenon of ghostly headlights. Drivers recount seeing pairs of glowing lights approaching rapidly from behind, their beams cutting through the foggy night like daggers. Yet, when they glance in their rearview mirrors, no vehicle is visible. In some cases, the lights seem to pass right through their cars, leaving behind an unsettling sensation of coldness and dread. Skeptics have attempted to explain these sightings as reflections or atmospheric anomalies, but eyewitness accounts paint a more sinister picture. Many believe the headlights belong to the spirits of motorists who perished in fatal accidents along Mulholland's treacherous curves. With its narrow lanes, steep drop-offs, and lack of guardrails in certain areas, the road has claimed countless lives over the decades, earning it a grim nickname among locals. The Starlet's Abyss. It is said that the spirits of these victims remain bound to the highway, forever reliving the moments leading up to their untimely deaths. Perhaps the most spine-chilling aspect of Mulholland Drive is the pervasive feeling of being followed. Visitors frequently report an overwhelming sense of unease, as though unseen eyes are tracking their every move. This sensation is often accompanied by the distinct impression of footsteps trailing behind them, though no one is there. One particularly harrowing account comes from a filmmaker who decided to scout locations along Mulholland late one evening. As he parked his car near an overlook, he began hearing what sounded like heels clicking against the pavement. Turning to investigate, he saw nothing but empty roads stretching into the darkness. Yet the sound persisted, growing louder and closer until it seemed to circle his vehicle. Terrified, he sped away, only to discover later that his camera had captured footage of a translucent figure standing near his car, its hollow eyes fixed on the lens as if pleading for help or vengeance. Equally unnerving are the reports of ghostly hitchhikers spotted along Mulholland Drive. Drivers have recounted picking up what appeared to be stranded travelers walking alone in the dead of night. Described as disheveled and pale, these hitchhikers often request rides to nearby landmarks or neighborhoods. However, midway through the journey, they vanish without warning, leaving behind only a lingering chill in the air. Some claim to have seen these figures materialize suddenly in their rearview mirrors, their hollow eyes fixed on the driver as if pleading for help or vengeance. The haunting of Borrego Springs Road stretching across the arid expanse of Anza Borrego Desert State Park. Borrego Springs Road is a desolate highway that cuts through one of California's most remote and unforgiving landscapes. By day, the road offers a stark beauty, with its endless vistas of golden sands, towering cacti, and rugged mountain ranges. But as the sun dips below the horizon and the desert cools to an icy chill, Borrego Springs Road transforms into a haunting corridor where the silence is almost oppressive, broken only by the occasional howl of the wind or the distant cry of a coyote. Known as one of California's most haunted roads, this stretch of asphalt is steeped in tales of ghostly apparitions, phantom vehicles, and unexplained phenomena that have left travelers questioning the boundaries between reality and the supernatural. One of the most enduring legends tied to Borrego Springs Road revolves around the Desert Wanderer, a spectral figure said to haunt the road near the outskirts of town. According to local lore, he was a prospector who ventured into the desert in search of gold during the late 1800s. Overcome by thirst and exhaustion, he succumbed to the harsh elements. His body never recovered. His spirit is said to wander the road at night, often appearing as a gaunt, weathered man clad in tattered mining gear. Witnesses describe him as stumbling along the shoulder, his hollow eyes fixed on the horizon as if searching for salvation, or perhaps revenge. Some claim to have seen him signaling desperately for help, only to vanish without a trace when approached. Others report hearing faint whispers carried by the wind, their words indecipherable yet undeniably human. Paranormal investigators speculate that the desert wanderer's restless spirit remains bound to the land, forever seeking the riches that eluded him in life or the rescue that never came. Adding to the road's haunted reputation is the recurring phenomenon of ghostly headlights. Drivers recount seeing pairs of glowing lights approaching rapidly from behind, their beams cutting through the pitch-black desert night like daggers. Yet, when they glance in their rearview mirrors, no vehicle is visible. In some cases, the lights seem to pass right through their cars, leaving behind an unsettling sensation of coldness and dread. Skeptics have attempted to explain these sightings as reflections or atmospheric anomalies, but eyewitness accounts paint a more sinister picture. Many believe the headlights belong to the spirits of motorists who perished in fatal accidents along Borrego Springs Road. With its isolated stretches, lack of cell service, and extreme temperatures, the road has claimed countless lives over the decades, earning it a grim nickname among locals. The Lost Highway. It is said that the spirits of these victims remain bound to the highway, forever reliving the moments leading up to their untimely deaths. The haunting of Camino del Rio winding its way along the rugged coastline of San Diego County. Camino del Rio is a scenic road that offers breathtaking views of the Pacific Ocean, dramatic cliffs, and lush greenery. By day, it's a favorite route for tourists, surfers, and locals seeking a picturesque drive or a quick escape to the beach. But as twilight descends and the golden hues of sunset give way to the encroaching darkness, Camino del Rio transforms into something far more sinister, a haunted thoroughfare where the echoes of tragedy linger, and the boundary between life and death feels razor thin. Known as one of California's most haunted roads, this stretch of asphalt is steeped in tales of ghostly apparitions, phantom vehicles, and unexplained phenomena that blur the line between reality and nightmare. One of the most enduring legends tied to Camino del Rio centers around the vanishing voices, an auditory phenomenon reported by both drivers and pedestrians who traverse the road at night. Witnesses describe hearing faint whispers and disembodied voices carried by the ocean breeze, their words indecipherable yet undeniably human. Some claim the voices seem to emanate from the cliffs themselves, as though the rocks are alive with the memories of those who perished there. Others report hearing distinct phrases, such as pleas for help or cries of anguish, that grow louder and more urgent as they approach certain stretches of the road. Paranormal researchers speculate that these voices belong to the spirits of individuals who met tragic ends along Camino del Rio, their final moments etched into the fabric of the landscape. Among the most frequently mentioned victims are sailors who drowned in shipwrecks off the coast, fishermen swept away by rogue waves, and lovers who leapt from the cliffs in acts of despair. Their voices, it is said, linger as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the merciless power of the sea. Adding to the road's haunted reputation is the recurring phenomenon of ghostly headlights. Drivers recount seeing pairs of glowing lights approaching rapidly from behind, their beams cutting through the foggy night like daggers. Yet, when they glance in their rearview mirrors, no vehicle is visible. In some cases, the lights seem to pass right through their cars, leaving behind an unsettling sensation of coldness and dread. Skeptics have attempted to explain these sightings as reflections or atmospheric anomalies, but eyewitness accounts paint a more sinister picture. Many believe the headlights belong to the spirits of motorists who perished in fatal accidents along Camino del Rio. With its narrow lanes, steep drop-offs, and lack of guardrails in certain areas, the road has claimed countless lives over the decades, earning it a grim nickname among locals. The Whispering Cliffs. It is said that the spirits of these victims remain bound to the highway, forever reliving the moments leading up to their untimely deaths. Reflecting on the shadows of haunted roads as we draw this journey to a close, it becomes clear that the haunted roads of California are more than mere stretches of asphalt. They are thresholds to another realm, where the boundaries between life and death blur like the mist that clings to the cliffs after sunset. Each story we've explored, from the spectral sentinels of Mulholland Drive to the phantom convoys of Ridge Route and the vanishing voices of Camino del Rio, reveals a shared truth. These roads bear witness to the fragility of human existence and the enduring power of memory. The tires that tread their surfaces, the headlights that pierce their darkness, and the echoes of tragedies past all serve as reminders that the past is never truly gone. It lingers, waiting for moments of quiet reflection to reveal itself. These haunted paths challenge us to look beyond the surface beauty of scenic vistas and winding curves, urging us to acknowledge the shadows that dwell beneath. What makes these roads so hauntingly compelling is not just the tales of tragedy and loss, but the way they invite us to confront our own mortality. The ghostly figures wandering along the shoulders, the disembodied voices carried by the wind, and the inexplicable phenomena that defy logic all serve as reminders that the past is never truly gone. It lingers, waiting for moments of quiet reflection to reveal itself. These haunted grounds challenge us to look beyond the surface beauty of manicured lawns and ornate mausoleums, urging us to acknowledge the shadows that dwell beneath. But perhaps the most profound takeaway is the universality of these stories. Across cultures, eras, and regions, humanity has always sought to honor its dead, creating spaces of reverence and remembrance. Yet, with every grave that is dug and every tombstone erected, there is a reminder of the cost of that connection. The spirits of those who perished, whether outlaws buried in haste, grieving widows consumed by sorrow, or starlets whose fame could not shield them from fate, linger not out of malice, but out of longing. They seek recognition, closure, or simply a voice to tell their stories. In listening to these whispers, we honor their memories and affirm our shared humanity. As you leave this video behind and perhaps venture onto one of these haunted roads yourself, take a moment to pause and listen. Let the cool breeze brush against your skin and the rustling leaves fill your ears. Somewhere in that symphony of nature, you might catch a fleeting glimpse, or a whispered word, of the past reaching out to touch the present. And remember, the roads hold secrets far deeper than their asphalt. Thank you for joining me on this chilling exploration of California's most haunted roads. If you enjoyed this journey into the supernatural, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own ghostly encounters in the comments below. Until next time, keep your headlights on and your curiosity sharper, because the shadows are always watching.